welcome to another episode of Diary of a Wannabe Comedian with me, Belle, a wannabe comedian. So I saw Ricky on Tuesday. I saw Ricky on Monday as well with my mum, but you already know that. So back to Ricky on Tuesday. He was great. Really enjoyed it. Of course he was great. And there was a little extra joke. Every time you go, there's a little bonus. And this time it was a little Rubik's Cube joke right at the end. So I enjoyed that very much. He made lots of eye contact because I was row A and I was with my friend John, who I've not seen for such a long time. And he's had quite a rough time of it in terms of health, but hopefully he's getting there now. But it was really good to catch up with him because he wants to write a sitcom, as do I. As you know, I have an idea, but I've yet to put it down on paper. So after the show, we went to the pub and we just discussed each other's ideas. And I think it's really cool. But we also discussed that there's just this total lack of inertia. We just can't get ourselves moving, and I'm not sure why. It's kind of, I mean, his idea is a really good idea. I think it's really got legs. I believe mine has as well, but you can be a little bit biased, can't you, about your own work? Well, you can either be biased or you can be overly critical. I believe my idea is a good one, but I do question, are sitcoms still a thing? Have I missed that boat? Because I tend to do that a lot with things like, I feel a bit like I've missed the boat with stand-up comedy, but hey, you know, I'm going to keep plugging away. Speaking of which, I've got a gig booked for September. I'm struggling a bit to find gigs, and I don't know why that, well, I do know why that is. I don't think I've put as much effort as I should in actually booking gigs. I've been trying to find gigs that are not bringers, because I'm struggling with bringers and have done for such a long time now. And also, I want to move away from that kind of gig. You know, that gives a certain vibe. And I'd like to move away from that kind of gig. And so I have to travel a bit further outside London. Not an issue in itself, but I haven't worked for some time. So I'm just spreading the pennies out because I'm doing an awful lot of work to my property. So it's all go here. I've just agreed to have the whole place fitted out with a wooden floor. So I'm very much looking forward to that. It's currently a mismatch of floors as it has been since I moved in. And it's just horrible. And I moved in with this, I've got the same decor, I've done nothing to it. So I am literally getting rid of every piece of furniture I own, with the exception of one. I'm going to keep my table because I probably need somewhere to work. I need somewhere to do my podcast, if nothing else. So everything else is going. Now, I thought that would be easy then to do the floor because there'll be loads of space. But you don't realise how many belongings you have in these pieces of furniture. So I'm going to try and distill it down to 6 boxes, but that feels like quite a feat at the moment because I'm amazed how much stuff I have. You know, I like my art, just that, pencils and paints and paper and all the rest of it takes up, well, it's more than a box. They're 35 litres, these boxes, and I've got probably 2 boxes worth. That's so much art material, isn't it? I've been trying to eBay stuff like mad as well as just constantly taking stuff to charity. So yeah, all in all, it's really busy at the moment. Not a lot of time to write a sitcom, not a lot of time to book gigs, but that really is not a good enough excuse. So I have to get over this inertia that I feel. One thing I do want to do, I have pretty much decided I am going to do an Edinburgh show next year. One way or another, I'm going to do a show. I don't quite know how. I don't know how you do it, but I'm just going to book it. I'm just going to do it because I just think I've had so much FOMO this year about Edinburgh. But I just think if I don't book something, I'm just never going to do it. So next year is the year. It's happening. You heard it here first. It's happening. I figure if I book it, then I have to come up with a show. And I can probably build that up in 5-minute pieces because I've got an idea for an autobiographical show, which I think probably most shows are actually, because the only subject I really know anything about is me. And so I'm going to build it up between now and August next year, I guess, build it up in 10-minute slots. But it was really my friend Beth. She inspired me. When I went to see her show with Matt, what was that, about a month ago? It was just so good. And I just thought she just decided I'm going to do this, and she just did it. So she has inspired me. Thank you, Beth. If you're listening, you're amazing. So that's been my week. I don't know how many shows that must be 8, 9 times I've seen Ricky. I don't know. You can probably tell me better than I can. But he was saying actually he does 50 new material shows. He does 20 work in progress shows. And then the next stage, because this I'm guessing is the work in progress that I've just seen twice. And then the next step is 80 world tour dates, I think he said, which is unbelievable. Absolutely amazing. But there you go. I need to do clearly 70 shows between now and Edinburgh, because that's what Ricky does. So if it works for him, it's going to work for me. But of course, he's testing the whole show out in that time. I can only really do that in 5 to 10 minute slots. But, you know, and also when you've got promoters that are just banging on about have you got a fixed 10 or a fixed 5 or 7 or whatever it is they want. And it's like, well, no, not when you're developing stuff. No, you haven't. And I thought you were in new material night. But anyway, whatever. These are the trials of a wannabe stand-up comedian. Now I'm off out to have a Nando's with Alexander. Much love and gratitude.